Greetings, everyone, and hello, and welcome back to the Signal Hour. I'm here with Evie as well. Hi, Evie.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see you.
Now, today we're going to be talking about a lot of things have been going on. And first thing you might notice, though, is I kind of look like a homeless guy. So I was off out in the wilderness for a week, and I came back, and Evie said, keep it. So we're going to give this a try, but I will look deranged for just a little while. So if you like your information from a homeless guy, I'm your guy. We can make this happen.
Hey, it's trustworthy.
I know it's at least it's trustworthy. I have no agenda. I can't sell this street corner I'm on. So let's get started here today. First thing I want to talk about is this. Is it finally starting? Evie, nobody's been arrested, right?
Of course, we're in the Gulf of the nobody's been arrested as well still.
Yes, we are still in the Gulf of nobody's been arrested yet. But I wanted to talk about this, and it starts here. So step one, I think, of this whole project was this, where, remember back in March, I thought this was a good move, right? Tulsi Gabbard, she yanks the security clearances for all those people, right?
Yep. At POTUS directive, I've revoked former President Joe Biden's security clearance and revoked clearances and access to classified information for Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, Fiona Hill, and Alexander Vindman.
That's step one. You want to know what I think step two is?
What's that?
Well, I know it's just a congressional hearing, and they have no power, really. They bark at you, they make loud noises, and then nothing ever happens. Maybe that's going to be this, but Representative James Comer here just said the HOC, the House Oversight Committee, is compelling the following individuals to appear for depositions through issued subpoenas. So that's Hillary Clinton. Yeah.
Whoa.
Bill Clinton. Merrick Garland. James Comey. Are you getting the pattern here yet?
Interesting.
Bill Barr of all people, huh?
What is happening? That's interesting.
Yep. Former U.S. Attorney AG Alberto Gonzalez.
Yep. Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, the other AG. Robert
Loretta
Mueller.
Lynch. That's definitely interesting.
Yeah, Miss Airport Tarmac meeting lady.
And Eric Holder.
Yeah, that's a rogues gallery right there. That is just like, these people did incredible damage to this country, to the faith in it, to its institutions. They weaponized DOJ. Many of these people, I'm convinced, with a proper investigation, committed treason and other crimes, maybe sedition. Agreed. But high crimes.
Yeah. And they should pay for those things that they did.
They should. Otherwise, we have a two-tier justice system, and that's bogus and not a cool thing. Yep. So, at any rate, let's go on to.
You know what?
But something might. Do you think something might happen with this? I mean, it's the House Oversight Committee. So,
what can they actually do?
What can they do? That's a good question. So, I had to look it up because I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Grok helped me out as usual.
So good.
it has the HOC has this. They
have the investigative authority, so they can conduct inquiries, hold hearings, request documents, and interview witnesses to evaluate executive branch performance and compliance with laws
or non-compliance.
They have subpoena power, which I know some people have just completely ignored when they've had subpoenas to this.
Yep.
But let's see, they can issue subpoenas for testimony documents or other materials without a full committee vote, blah, blah, blah. And they have deposition authority, so they can compel individuals to appear for closed door depositions, sworn testimony transcripts, which are often used for detailed questioning before public hearings.
So James Comer is currently the chair on that thing. And notice that he's asking them to appear for depositions.
That's good.
Depositions.
Maybe that's good.
Yeah, these are under oath. However, allow me to short circuit this whole thing. Ready? I have put on my amazing Kreskin powers. Yes, here's exactly what they're going to hear from Hillary Clinton. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I don't recall. I plead the fifth. I don't recall. I think that's the whole testimony right there. How do they let them get away with that? I don't recall. I don't recall.
I don't
know. I don't recall.
How many times can they say that? What if the evidence says otherwise?
Yeah. So maybe something's happening. I don't know. Right?
Maybe.
They have some enforcement mechanisms to your question. Like if a subpoena is ignored, look what they can do.
So if it's ignored, they'll be held in criminal contempt of Congress, which The committee votes to recommend contempt. The full House approves a resolution, and the matter is referred to the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia for prosecution.
Which is like a Democrat stronghold.
Exactly. So that's good for the people that are giving the deposition, I suppose. It's a misdemeanor if you're found in contempt of Congress, punishable by a fine, blah, 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 and imprisonment up to 1 year. There's also civil enforcement where the House can sue in federal court to compel compliance as recognized by the D.C. Circuit Court. Again. Yeah. Not a lot going to happen there. Probably inherent contempt, which I guess hasn't been used in a long time, since the 30s. This allows the House Sergeant at Arms to arrest and detain non-compliant individuals until they comply, but it's kind of outdated, blah, blah, blah. Constitutionally risky. And then I guess the committee can issue reports, recommend legislation, refer matters for criminal investigation, or initiate impeachment proceedings. So,
okay, they could refer matters to the DOJ, I guess. Or
Maybe.
else it has to go to the district court in DC. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Grok left out, they can write sternly worded letters. Which I think we have to imagine there should be, we're going to look forward to some really good sternly worded letters.
Great.
All right, that's that.
But this could change things, no?
It could, so what happened was Tulsi came out, and I thought it was going to be a bombshell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really touched it, except for the New York Times to say, oh, she doesn't seem to be understanding how things work. But she said they had evidence that under Obama, that the whole Russiagate thing, which we all know was a hoax, right? Worse than a hoax. A hoax makes it, you hoax somebody when you put clear tape across the door and they walk into it, right?
Right, when you fool them.
This was a vast criminal conspiracy to undermine a sitting president, which is sedition. Okay.
Yeah, that seems reasonably
yeah, and then
major.
Then they threw Robert Mueller on the job, and he's the fixer of all fixers. Remember, he investigated the early part of 9/11. Oops, couldn't find
Nothing
anything.
to see here.
Nothing to see here. He was head of the FBI, I think, at that time, when we had those agents who had the laptop of Moussaoui. They had the laptop, and then word came back down from very on high in FBI. I've never found out how high, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's Robert Mueller high, where they said, oh, there's privacy issues at stake here. We can't possibly look into this terrorist laptop. Like, oh, really? The FBI is worried about privacy. It's just stupid. It's
Kabuki
stupid.
Theater, baby. That's
At
what
any rate,
it is, I think.
I don't know that anything's going to come from this, but I thought I'd put it out there. But she did say that she had vast evidence of criminal conspiracy, and many of these names on this list were part of that criminal conspiracy.
Yeah.
So who knows what comes of this? I've lost so much respect for Congress and their ability or inability to have any power whatsoever, or have any teeth, or do anything useful, top to bottom.
Yeah. I don't think they actually operate the way they were meant to, though. I don't think the United States was created with a deep state in mind as a control arm or mechanism.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, doesn't it seem odd that all the things that all the checks and balances that our forefathers put in place have been subverted by somebody just buying off who they want to? That's kind of sad.
Well, whole thing. So I want to keep a little pressure, Evie, on the whole Epstein thing. And thankfully, there's still some stuff to report. They're doing everything they can to bury this at the Trump level. Just like, can we move on? Have Tulsi talk about a vast conspiracy, jangly, shiny keys. Like, look, they're trying to put Clinton behind. At any rate, I found this just popped up today for me.
Oh, leaked FBI document reveals Jeffrey Epstein's secret history as an FBI informant.
Oh, maybe they should have announced that about a decade or two ago.
What is Radar? I'm not familiar with this publication.
I don't know.
Is it reputable?
Well, I had a question about that. So here's what they wrote first, and then I'll show you. I think it's reputable.
Okay.
Why?
Jeffrey Epstein was secretly working with the U.S. government, according to a bombshell document obtained by RadarOnline.com. The late tycoon and pedophile who died in jail in 2019, age 66, while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges, was, quote, more than just protected. He was a puppet, informant, and spy for the FBI, added an intelligence agency source.
Okay, let's stop right there for a sec. An intelligence agency source, I hate that, right? I have no way of verifying that. An intelligence agency source.
Yeah, who is that? Or what is that?
I could say, you could tell me something and I could write up something and say, according to a very well-placed source. Yeah, placed well for me, in my life, but
right.
It's just, anyway.
It's not very specific, is it?
Nope. So just anytime I hear this, just discount those a tiny bit. Okay. I hate unnamed sources.
Goes on to say, a 2008 internal file obtained through a successful Freedom of Information Act lawsuit shows Epstein was operating as an FBI informant before his now infamous 2007 sweetheart plea deal.
Remember the sweetheart plea deal where he had to go to prison, but he only had to be there during the night. Actually, one of the nights per week. And he had his own guards. He actually had his own wing. He had his own everything. He just left whenever he wanted, came back. And most troublingly, the DOJ said, with the FBI's permission, said, oh, we're going to make him a deal where nobody now, in the past or in the future, known or unknown to us presently, who are involved in any of this shenanigans, can be charged with anything.
How can they do that? That's like a full pardon. Yeah,
but it's a blanket just...
Oh, that's so wrong.
It's so wrong. It's a blanket pardon for everybody, named or unnamed, who we might not know, regardless of what they did or didn't do.
I'm sorry. That's not what the world needs right now.
Yeah. All right. So I had to go source that document down. That's how we roll here, saving everybody a little time because we do it. It looks legit to me. So first, notice the precedence. That's routine. Routine. It's just normal stuff,
All right.
And the date on this is September 18th, 2008. But when we read the part in yellow, I think you're going to see this predates his plea deal.
Okay.
A lot of stuff is sort of blanked out there. I don't know what it is.
But you were saying it was before his sweetheart deal.
Yeah, well, you'll have to infer that from the yellow part.
Okay.
Go for it.
On 9/11/08, case agent advised Ryder that Epstein is currently being prosecuted by the state of Florida and is complying with all the conditions of his plea with the state of Florida. Epstein also has provided information to the FBI as agreed upon.
Whoa, Epstein has also provided information to the FBI as agreed upon. Huh. Agreed upon when? Prior to this moment.
Right.
So they're just saying, yeah, they're prosecuting him, but he's kind of done what he's supposed to do for us.
Oh, shoot.
So that's the quid.
Right.
Carry on, you get the pro quo.
Case agent advised that no federal prosecution will occur in this matter as long as Epstein continues to uphold his agreement with the state of Florida. Case agent also advised that no further forfeiture assistance will be required for this case. Case agent is requested to contact Ryder in the event that this matter moves forward on a federal level. Wow. In that, no further forfeiture related action is deemed necessary in this matter. It is requested this subfile be closed. Wow. What? Okay.
So no forfeiture, right? You get caught with a joint in your car, you're gonna lose your car. Forfeiture.
Little people would.
Yeah, he had hundreds of millions of seizable assets, right? Involved in a criminal conspiracy, and they're like, oh no, because he's been doing something for us, because he's provided information as agreed upon. Past tense, yeah. So it has to predate this. And plus, now that he's in trouble with the state of Florida, you can infer that this was all part of that sweetheart deal that he got, right? As agreed upon. So that's how you can predate it to 2007. Right. Because that's when the deal came through. And he got that sweetheart deal, which included no forfeiture and all this other stuff. So there's as agreed upon because he provided information to the FBI. Now, what information? The FBI has claimed up to this point they don't have any information like that.
Yeah,
there are no Epstein files.
They must have been collecting something on somebody, but you're right. To date, there haven't been any prosecutions related to that, have there?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I absolutely insist that these things be completely declassified. Just strip all those stupid little bars off of there and let's have at it.
Honestly, Chris, I think we have to have a come to Jesus moment as a country. And if we're going to move forward and repair any of the damage and mistrust that's going on, we're going to have full transparency in all of this stuff. Yep.
I think there's no way they're going to try and throw a couple low-level fish under the wheels of the bus here.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably.
So anyway, let's carry on a tiny bit because there's more to this. This is also from that Radar article.
Oh, okay. Smoking gun documents. File also pushes the timeline of his ties to the FBI back even further than was initially suspected. A source close to the case told this masthead, "These are the smoking gun documents. They show Epstein was an active source for the FBI way before his plea deal in 2007.
Now, maybe there's other documents. I can't be that definitive over the one we saw.
Right.
But for sure, we can say 2008, right? You can infer from this document that they had some agreed upon thing that he had fulfilled prior to this moment, right? Does it go all the way back to 2007? Well, it must, because it involves, the plea deal involved not taking all his stuff. You can, for an interstate sex ring, you just take everything. That's what they do.
Oh, that's what they've always done.
You just take it all. You take his plane, you take his homes.
Yep.
You just take it.
Asset forfeiture.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's a thing.
I hate it, but they would do it, but they didn't do it to him, which is a tell.
Yeah, that is.
And that had to be part of the deal. So come on, let's be clear about this. He's not just some guy who was banging some 15-year-olds or something like that. They caught him and they dinged him a little and gave him some, sweetheart time. They didn't touch him for all kinds of things. They didn't go after any of the other people. I'm not aware of a single person on his Lolita Express having been brought in for questioning, even to clear their name. Right? Come on in. FBI needs to have a conversation with you.
Right.
What were you doing on that plane? What did you see? Who else was there? It's typical stuff, right?
So what can we sort of surmise from this? I mean, what it says to me is that they're interested in having that information for some reason, but they're not using it for the reasons that we think they should. Right?
Right.
They're not actually prosecuting anybody.
Of course not. Nobody's been arrested yet, right? So, all right. Just as a reminder, this is from 2023. I just like to very, very frequently say the name Larry Summers and Epstein, just to make sure that Larry Summers and Epstein's name are always put right near each other.
Married together.
Just, in case Larry Summers and Epstein, we just wanted to talk about how Larry Summers and Epstein had a really close relationship.
Apparently, new documents reveal how frequently Larry Summers, Woody Allen, and more met with Jeffrey Epstein.
You're saying Larry Summers met with Jeffrey Epstein?
I am. Larry Summers met with Jeffrey Epstein.
So he's such a pompous, arrogant, annoying individual by my characterizations. But to see him on TV all the time being talked about his august opinions about economics and other things like that, let's be clear. Now, this again, Evie, I love saving things because maybe you will or will not be shocked, but this just popped out. Check this out. So this is in the Times of Israel, and this person writes,
Trump and his administration criticized Netanyahu and Israel, and now the Epstein files are haunting him.
Ooh.
For a long time, the files had subsided in the background. They weren't considered to be much of a threat to Trump. But all of a sudden, right after he started up with Israel, the files surfaced and they seemed to be overwhelming him. Trump blasted Bibi after shrapnel hit a church in Gaza. The church is in a war zone. It was not targeted. Rather, shrapnel from a nearby explosion hit it. Still, Trump berated Bibi and demanded that he publicly express regret.
Yeah, and instead, you know what happened? All our Congress people had to go over and kiss the wall.
Get on your knees.
But you see what he's implying here? Hey, you criticized our guy. You know what happened? Next thing you know, these Epstein files aren't so quiet anymore. Get it? Get it? Get it? Actually, he was more clear than that. He put out a straight warning.
Yeah, he did. I remember that the day after.
Here's a straight warning.
Trump decided to bomb Iran's nuclear sites, and that's commendable.
Oh, and that's commendable. Bombing nuclear sites, I'm so glad we crossed that Rubicon as a world, that now it's okay to bomb nuclear sites. Totally fine. Okay.
But reports later surfaced that he rejected the option to bomb for a week's time in order to finish off all the sites. Thus, only Fordow, is that the name of the place? Was
one of the sites
severely damaged, while other sites had only minimal or no damage. And now some old files are threatening him. Perhaps Trump will realize that it doesn't pay to start up with Israel.
That it really doesn't pay to start up with Israel. There, they just said it. They said it, the quiet part out loud.
They did.
Yep. And this is the kind of thing that I think a lot of people in Israel would be like, yeah, we have that power. course they have that power. We know people have been noticing there's something very wrong with this story at this point in time.
There is.
Right?
There is.
And it has tendrils to Epstein and to our total lack of doing anything reasonable about 1 million people being put into starvation, which is severe crime. There's many war crimes, but leaving aside, how lawyers define these things, because honestly, I think all war is a crime. Just start there. Oh, that wasn't the right way to kill that person. That was a war crime. That was okay. Yeah, that was a good way to kill them. I mean, like,
what?
You got to really have a lawyer's soul to parse that line. I think it's a moral crime, and you can just observe those for yourself.
Yep.
Without any instruction from an international criminal court.
Correct.
Or Larry Summers, who did visit with Epstein quite often. Speaking of which, how about this? We had new pictures just come out this week of inside of his mansion.
Oh, no kidding. Epstein's bedroom of his New York City mansion had a camera facing his bed. Oh, that just makes me want to throw up. And the same blue and white striped design theme as his temple. What flag do these colors remind you of? Symbolism will be their downfall.
No, they just can't help themselves. Just being so proud of this and now using it to essentially openly brag that they are threatening a U.S. president because they were disappointed that he didn't bomb nuclear facilities quite as hard as they want. Oh my gosh, he asked Netanyahu to apologize, to express regret over a Christian church. What are you, nuts? That's not going to happen.
This is bad.
I think it's getting bad. The noticing is happening. By the way, here's some noticing. Rudy Havenstein on Twitter said this is a good point, and it is a good point. So he retweeted this picture.
They're not meeting with the victims. They're meeting with the trafficker. That tells you everything you need to know. Complicit, corrupt, disgusting. Wow.
They're not meeting with the victims.
There's
all these victims are like, hey, over here, hands up.
I have a story.
I have a story. I can tell you what happened and with who. Dates, times, corroborating evidence.
Oh, so much of that.
No, they're not interested in this at all.
Have you heard any of those? I've bumped into
heard
a few.
Yeah,
they're quite disturbing.
Yeah, they are.
They're really disgusting.
All right. Emerald Robinson, I think, always captures these things pretty well.
First, they told you they would release the Epstein files. Then they told you they were reviewing the Epstein files. Then they said they couldn't release the Epstein files. Then they said there were no Epstein files. Then they said, stop talking about the Epstein files.
That's it, isn't it? That's the path.
Reminds me of the narcissist prayer.
Yeah, it a little bit does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I often will throw all of Congress under the wheels of a bus because the 435 of them are just awful, except for a couple, including Thomas Massie, right? So Thomas Massie has been saying, well, then let's do this. Let's restore the honor and the trust. Let's just release these files. So he introduces this resolution. Mike Johnson promised he would stay in his district, didn't, flew over, kissed the wall with a kippah on his head, right?
Did he?
Yep. Just recently went all over everything, and his constituents were like, dude.
What?
And then he comes back and he introduces a resolution. So let's compare the two resolutions side by side. What do we got here? Okay. First thing we have here is Massie in the green in the middle column, and then Mike Johnson's alternate House GOP resolution. First feature is it binding? Massie and Khanna's resolution is yeah, legally forces the House to act. It's legally binding. Mike Johnson, nah, symbolic only. No legal force. Oh, are the features going to be released? Yes, under Massie, Khanna, all unclassified Epstein-related documents. Yes, all of them. Mike Johnson, only, what the DOJ deems credible.
Right.
Yeah, credible. Like finding an FBI memo,
that kind of
from
credible?
2008 that says, oh yeah, we were working with them totally. They have no credibility. So we're going to have to believe that they find stuff that's credible. How about this? Includes flight logs, DOJ memos, etc. Yep. Massie, Khanna, all of that. The flight logs, travel records, of course, all that stuff. No, not required under Mike Johnson's alt here. Not required up to sort of DOJ discretion. We can all imagine what that discretion is going to look like. Massie, 30-day deadline. All records, 30 days. That's it. And there's penalties around that if it doesn't happen. Mike Johnson, no time limit. No real accountability. You can just see how these are competing resolutions, right? So Mike Johnson is no longer working for this country. He's working for whoever's seeking to protect everything that Epstein was and stood for. And I think we all know what that means here today. Redactions explained? Massey Khanna says, yes, redactions must be justified in the Federal Register. And I think all redactions have to be justified, because otherwise the redaction is usually, this is embarrassing. Let's just white that out or put a black bar over it, right? Under Mike Johnson, DOJ not required to explain or disclose any redactions. And finally, a transparency mechanism. Massey Khanna says files must be public, searchable, downloadable. And Mike Johnson's is like no mechanism for enforcement or access. So that's, you can see there's just a slight bit of difference here.
Just a little bit.
You think?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow. And Trump is like getting ready to just try and run a huge campaign against Massey, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing, all these people like, oh, but Israel's our greatest ally. Like, no. First off, allies don't run ops like this on you all the time. But second off, that's okay. You can have allies. Japan is our ally. When's the last time you saw this kind of like subservient, fawning, groveling over anything Japan wanted from us or to do? Like, they're a good ally. Canada,
I'm not
ally.
aware of
Mexico.
much.
None of this. We don't know. This is like completely obviously there's something wrong with this
something
story
going
right now.
on. Yeah.
Everybody can
we are
smell
not bending down to kiss Canada's butt.
Yeah.
Or Mexico's.
Yeah.
Or anybody else's. Yeah. Something's wrong.
Something's very wrong. Anyway, big difference between the two bills. I kind of hope the Massey Khanna bill comes through. I'm not sure what it's really going to uncover because they've had 15 years to scrub the files. It probably takes 15 days to destroy evidence
easily.
So
and
anyway,
they just unalive you if you talk about it too much. If you actually have firsthand experience.
This guy Randy Fine, we've had him on before because he was the guy who had him on. I mean, we played a clip of him because he was the guy who said, "Oh yeah, the only problem with nuking Gaza would be some of the radioactivity might drift over my people." Remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says here, it's an honor to meet with the Israeli Finance Minister Smotrich, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And to talk about our mutual fight to save Western civilization.
Oh, is that grandiose enough for you? Our mutual fight to save Western civilization. So Western civilization, Evie, that would be based on some things like rule of law, morals, right?
Mm-hmm. Basic.
Our country was founded on Christianity as a core concept, right? So when he says Western civilization, what do you think he's talking about?
I don't know. I mean, sounds like the gravy train that is the United States. They just want that train to keep on chugging along.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think it has any real meaning for us truly as a country in terms of getting back to our standards.
Yeah.
Does it? I don't know.
So Smotrich. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh no, not Smotrich, because he was just in the news.
Oh, he was? Just
in the news. This is going to be hard. And then we're going to have to do a palate scrub. He literally said this.
Smotrich might be, quote, justified and moral to cause 2 million Gazans to die of hunger, but the world won't let us. What?
He actually said that. So, it's probably justified and moral if we cause 2 million Gazans to die of hunger, but, the world won't let us.
Where did he say this? What a POS.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
That's just nasty.
I mean, this is just morally repugnant beyond anything you can imagine. It's just like, this is just a hard no. Like saying, oh, we're going to starve people to death is something that I hope we would associate with like eras that no longer exist in this world, but it's back.
Right. Well, like, wasn't that kind of what happened, in the Nazi work camps, right?
Yep.
People were so mad about. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yep. So you're right, Rob B. Absolutely. Starving people is abhorrent. It's just abhorrent. It is a war crime too. It's both morally abhorrent and a war crime. Has both those features. Yep. And at any rate.
Wow.
So.
Yep. Who's been doing good work on this is Candace Owens. She's been like killing it lately.
Yeah.
I want to have her on here. Wouldn't that be great?
Yep.
We should have her on the show.
Yeah, if we could get her.
If anybody knows Candace, talk to her for us. Okay, thanks.
Okay. So we are going to be talking about the gerrymandering thing, not so much to go through the particulars of it, but just to expose the hypocrisy on display as soon as we come back from this message from one of my favorite sponsor. The markets are unraveling and the stakes could not be higher. If you're relying on passive strategies or so-called diversification, or perhaps using an advisor who was, I don't know, maybe in elementary school during the great financial crisis, you could be on a collision course with staggering portfolio losses. Peak Financial Investing is your lifeline. We handpick wealth managers who will actively manage your portfolio with proven, market-savvy strategies, not the tired modern portfolio theory that could crumble under pressure. The unprepared will not just lose this time, but lose big. The future that I see consists of both winners and losers, but many more losers this time than last time. Go to peakfinancialinvesting.com today and schedule your free consultation. This is your chance to protect your wealth. Again, that's peakfinancialinvesting.com. And I'm Dr. Chris Martenson, urging you, please don't wait another day. All right, Peak Financial Investing, good stuff. And by the way, I do have a Peak Financial Investing related podcast called Finance You. It's every Thursday with Paul Kiker of Kiker Wealth Management, who you saw there, and we talk about market stuff. We have some big stuff to talk about this week. Might want to check it out because there was some labor stuff, and of course our services information came in. Speaking of something called stagflation, that's the worst of all worlds for the average person. So we're going to talk about that. It looks like it's bearing down on us. So good stuff. By the way, Evie and I do have to announce that because of a new arrival in our house, we are both sleep deprived for the past 2 nights. And yeah,
just a little bit.
Sleep deprived because we have this new.
Because she's so sweet. Look at her. We have a new baby. And
yep,
her name is yet to be announced and determined, but she's just sweet as she can be. She's such a good dog.
German short-haired pointer, full of energy, lots of fun. So anyway, if I say a lot, there's a reason. Okay.
All right.
There's a reason there. All right. So Evie, have you heard about this gerrymandering thing?
I haven't. I've been a little bit unplugged lately.
All right. Do you remember what gerrymandering is from your college civics courses? Or
yes.
anything? Yeah. All right.
Moving people around in order to stack a district with voters of a particular type.
Yeah, you draw the district boundaries really weird. It meanders.
Yes.
I don't know why they don't call it gerrymandering, but it's just how it is. All right. So first up is, so what happened was Texas is going to do some redistricting, and then all the Democrat legislators got on a plane from Texas and flew to another state to escape, so they couldn't vote on it because they had to protect our democracy. Whatever. I'm not saying gerrymandering is right. I'm against it. Texas is doing some redistricting, but here's some context I think we have to have.
Okay.
Well, it's hilarious, Harris, to see these Democrats talk about moral clarity and rigging the system, because all of this unfairness was actually started by Democrats, and it was started by Democrats right here in California. People say that when you see this playing out between the states, it's a tit for tat. If Texas moves first, then Illinois and California will respond, and so on. No, it was California that started this. In 2008, the people of California voted for an independent commission to draw the legislative districts. What did Democrats do in California? They hijacked and corrupted that process, and they gerrymandered California districts to steal 12 House seats from Republicans. That's what started all this. That's what made it not a level playing field. And so when Gavin Newsom, who's now saying that if Texas goes ahead, he's going to call a special election to overturn the California Constitution to steal another 5 House seats from Republicans, I'm saying no to that. I've been in conversation with my lawyers all weekend. We've got the legal basis now, and we're going to be announcing this tomorrow to stop Gavin Newsom if he tries to go ahead with his further gerrymandering of the district. So we've got to realize who started this. It was Democrats.
So it's been going on for a while. There's a few states that are bad. But remember, Evie, so we keep talking about how this whole thing like our democracy, which was the possessive. It has quotes around it, right? Because they meant, the Democrats meant our democracy. And I'm not saying the GOP is doing any better. I think there's just some GOP people in there who are just atrocious, awful human beings as well. So we have this uniparty system. We can't crack anything, but it's getting even more brittle and fragile with both sides rigging the system. We know that we haven't had free elections or fair elections since the electronic tabulators got put in and delivered statistically improbable results to the point you can just flat out say impossible, with no interest from either party. You would think one or the other. It was really bad. Nobody says anything about it, which tells you it's really, this is just the way they carve stuff up and then they distribute it to themselves. And that's what this game is really about.
Right.
So just want to talk about that. But they're going to try and present it as if there's some great democratic principles on the line. And this is from our own state. This is Healy, Governor Healy here, saying this.
Many Democratic majority states are now threatening to rewrite their own maps if Texas follows through with its plan.
Donald Trump, Greg Abbott, Ken Paxton have left us no choice. That's the reality. Nobody came looking for this.
No choice. Oh, well, now we're going to have to just, jigger our things around so that we can get even more Democrats in Congress. So the problem is, I don't think we have any Republican districts in Massachusetts. I don't think there are any left.
Are there none?
I think there's 0. I'd have to look that up, but we have no choice. We have no choice.
We have no choice but to what? To redraw.
Yeah, well,
they're going to start doing it too.
Since they're doing this awful thing, we have no choice but to also do that thing. Okay. So I just want to, so, and by the way, this gets really crazy. So this is Pritzker, one of my least favorite human beings on the planet. And I particularly dislike his sister, who's really a brother, who's pushing all the transgender stuff with the Pritzker billions. But at any rate, let's listen in here.
We have to see what they decide to do about Texas, but I think that the president of the United States encouraging Texas being willing to do this, it should be an indicator to the rest of us that that if they're going to cheat, that's not a proper way to act. That we're all going to have to band together to try to address that, at least to try to stop them by letting them know that if we were doing what they were doing, that in fact, we would counterbalance, indeed take control of the Congress. I think we ought to play by the rules, everybody. And I think we ought to have an election in 2026. We'll see who comes out ahead in the Congress. But I think cheating the way the president wants to is improper. We all ought to stand up against it. People ought to be outraged.
So what's interesting here is, of course, Illinois is famous as being one of the most gerrymandered states. Not all of them are, but this is one of the worst. He's like, I requoted him. He said, you know what we hate? We hate the other side cheating the way we cheat. We're only allowed to cheat when they cheat the way we cheat. We feel no, we have an obligation, therefore, to double down on our cheating because they're cheating the way we cheat. Normally, we just get to cheat. We cheat, you don't cheat. Our democracy is preserved when we get our way, and you sit back and take it. Literally, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, that is what he's saying, isn't it?
It totally is. Somebody put some commentary on
the cheater in chief, J.B. Pritzker, started out when he first ran for office saying that he would never sign a political map that was drawn by politicians. And then what did he do? He signed one of the worst, if not the worst, map in the nation's history. I can come right out and say he's an absolute hypocrite on this issue. Is he the pot or the kettle? That's the reality. He's saying it's wrong when Texas does it, but when he makes one of the worst maps in the nation's history, he's perfectly okay. It's absolutely ridiculous for him to pretend like the last 4 years have been just a natural occurrence because the people of Illinois have gone far left. The people of Illinois have not gone far left. In fact, I think that we're shifting further right as the Democrat majority goes further left. People they want a sense of reality, and they need more voices to bring balance to government and to bring truth to all the issues that we deal with.
There, yeah. So again, I just raised this as so the Democrats right now, Evie, they're polling really badly. And of course, it turns out that's because their planks, if such as you could call them, have been really unpopular right?
Mhm.
Transgender reading hour and open borders turned out not to be popular. So instead of going,
Right.
wow, I guess we had that wrong, they're just now just doubling, tripling down, and their polls are getting worse and worse. So I'm a little worried about that, because these people, besides being moral hypocrites and all of that, they're also dangerous people. They will do anything, up to treason, sedition, whatever, because I think they're that, if I had to use a single term, it would be narcissistic, right? So
Right.
a narcissist just demands the absolute right to tread over every boundary you have. But as soon as you say, no, that's as far as you can go, they perceive you as attacking them. So JB Pritzker, he feels attacked. Oh my God, I feel attacked. These people are doing the same things I did. That's totally unacceptable. And he doesn't hear that, how gross that sounds to everybody.
No, he doesn't. He's definitely not very smart in that regard at all.
Yep. So of course, look what he's saying now.
So ends up in the Daily Herald. Pritzker says redistricting. I can't say that word today. Redistricting in Illinois an option if Texas proceeds with remap.
Well, an option. What does he mean, an option?
I don't know.
I think he means even more gerrymandering. This is the district map for Illinois.
What?
Look at District 13 carving that little, like, oh, we'll squeak one out of that.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, look at all
this.
This
is stupid.
Look at this little, like, 8 11 says, like, these little, this is how they have to draw in order for the blue majority to win Illinois and for Pritzker to stay in power. So he's like, oh, redistricting's an option. Dude, you already exercised that option.
No, did you see what he said in that article?
No, I didn't.
It quotes the second paragraph down. It says, quote, as far as I'm concerned, everything is on the table.
Yeah, and I agree. That's true. Up to in the use of nuclear weapons. No, I mean, these people are nasty and dangerous. That's how I see them. Right. But this is the funniest thing to me. They're like, oh, so anyway, this is the state all those Texas Democrats flew to.
Wow.
They flew to Illinois, one of the most gerrymandered states on the planet, to protest the idea that the other side might try the same thing they've been doing forever and ever, right? This is the funniest thing.
That looks like an Etch-a-Sketch drawing that I did when I was 9 years old.
I agree. I guess it could look like that. At any rate, it was so bad that even CNN noticed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, listen, this is awesome.
It seems as if the strategies bring more attention to this, make everybody uncomfortable, right? The more painful you make the process in Texas, the more it's hard to replicate. Maybe their own colleagues aren't as interested in this. Congressional Republicans that serve in Texas, whose districts are actually going to get impacted negatively, also secretly are kind of hoping this goes away too. And I think they think the more painful they can make this in doing it, maybe there's a way to shut this down. So I understand the strategy, and I think you get this. The part that I think is sort of bad.
Get this.
I think it's a bad look for a party that claims to be always trying to protect the democracy is to hole up in a state that gerrymanders. The state of Illinois. I mean, one of the worst, look, Texas, Florida, Illinois, and Maryland. Those are your 4 giant gerrymandered states. And if you're trying to make a point on gerrymandering, I don't think I'd be going to the state of Illinois as a place to hide.
That's funny.
Isn't that funny?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chuck Todd couldn't resist. I mean, it's obvious, right? It's just completely obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, they went to, anyway, of all the places they could have gone.
Wow.
All right. So that's kind of funny. By the way, he mentioned Maryland as one of the 5 big gerrymanders. This is a district. This is actually a congressional district in Maryland. Think of the amount of time it took to know exactly where to draw those lines. And by the way, one of the rules is these things have to be contiguous. So you have these little land bridges right here that connect them.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So anyways,
this is stupid.
It's just funny because, they're getting all in a huff about it. And Gavin Newsom is going to. So Gavin Newsom retweeted this the other day where this Hunter, I don't know who this is, said even in a bad year for California Dems in 2024, you can create a 52D zero Republican
map with no seat being less than Harris plus 10 would probably eliminate 9 Republicans.
They could do that.
Wow.
You can draw the lines like all sorts of ways to make sure the Dems always win. Now,
that's messed up.
It's fine if it's just sort of politics and politics happens and all this and that. But the truth is that well, maybe it's more of an opinion, but there's some truth to I could factualize this. These Democratic stronghold states that do this, right? Oregon, Washington, California, right? Almost all of New England, New York. The Democrats make life worse for the people who live there, not better. Inarguably, high taxes. Like California, you'd think this would be a progressive utopia, you know? What would just be all Democrats, right? Then what would happen? Homelessness would go away. The wealth gap would go away.
Right.
Home affordability would be at the highest. We would have
schools would
high
be doing
wages.
great.
Schools would be doing great. The truth is, on every one of those dimensions, this state is far worse off than red states. They have the worst wealth gap. They have the most homelessness. They have the least home affordability, right? On and on and on, right down the list. So the results just don't bear out this utopian idea of saying, oh, it's us versus them. But again, it may all just be kabuki theater, because at the end of the day, all of us end up with unaffordable insurance, taxes that are too high, real estate taxes that are exploding through the roof. Nobody does anything about it. An election system that doesn't return believable results, and foreign wars that just get funded at the drop of a hat when things like permaculture, starve for, meager donations. It's just not, we're just not going in the right direction. And this is not helping. That's the way I see it.
I think you are right about that.
So that's the gerrymandering, the great gerrymandering thing. Can we talk about this, though, the digital surveillance state? So I just
this is my favorite subject.
I know you love this one. So Evie has been on this since even before we met. She's never liked her. She doesn't even turn a ringer on her phone, which causes problems sometimes, like trying to find it or get a hold of her. But she's always been like suspicious and like, this thing is stealing stuff from us. And now we're going down this digital surveillance state. And this comes to us, West Coast Jan. Hi, West Coast Jan. At the site, she said, hey, because we asked for questions about the signal hour. And she said, well, the rush to implement digital ID is on. What will non-compliance look like for you, Chris and Evie? Now, this is something we're going to be talking about at our annual summit in Poughkeepsie, New Hampshire. And if you want to come, you really should come. And one of the parties that's going to be there is as close as I can go right now. It's going to be a company that makes hardware that specifically resists a lot of this digital spying stuff. Now, listen, if a nation state wants to go after you, or Unit 8200, out of Israel, if they come after you, they got you. I mean, there's no such thing as perfect security. However, if you've heard about the scams and schemes and phishing, and now with AI mimicking people's voices and, calling you for emergency money and all those sorts of things, you want to make sure that your digital footprint is as locked down as you can make it without going ridiculously overboard. So that's one of the things we're going to be talking about. And in real world examples, you can get your hand on a device and we can talk you through it.
Right.
I'll learn, you'll learn. So that'll be part of it. But what does non-compliance look like for you guys?
Good question. I mean, I'm going to do what I've always been doing, which is I don't really like my phone. We don't have a good relationship, which doesn't mean that I'm not being tracked if I don't pay attention. But most of the time, I don't let apps, I don't give them permissions. I don't know. I probably should do a better job of making sure that I don't talk about things anywhere near these devices, right? Because part of what they're going to do with this digital ID is to kind of give us a bit of a social credit score, is it not?
Oh, well, let's go into that. So Jan posted a couple of things. This is the first one she posted, which was a tweet by Richard Werner. By the way, I just listened to a podcast on the ride home recently, on a plane ride, had some time, with Richard Werner with Tucker Carlson. And if you're interested at all in how banking and central banking and all that stuff works, I highly recommend you listen to it twice, 3 times even. He makes so many good points in there. I'm going to see if I can get him on the show. But anyway, here's what he says about this.
On October 12th, 2025, major EU airports will commence digital controls and recording of IDs, a control measure aimed at accelerating surveillance of ordinary citizens and introduction of digital IDs. Meanwhile, millions of illegals will continue to be pumped into the EU.
With no sorts of tracking or controls
Probably
or anything.
not.
The digital IDs are just for the domestic livestock. Ear tags for the citizens who paid the taxes. Everybody else gets a free ride. And
so gross.
It's just how it is. It's just how it is. Now, but lots about to happen in 2025 October for the EU, including this, which is that it's been announced, and Christine Lagarde, who I believe is a vampire, but I'm not totally positive. That's a mirror behind her. She's been really pushing for this. Said, "Oh, are you ready for the digital euro CBDC?" And when asked about it, the president of the ECB admitted that it could be modeled on the Chinese CBDC. That is of use and of service to all citizens. Is how she's framing this. There's the one we admire. You know that one China has. She sounds a little bit like Justin Trudeau in this moment.
Gross.
Oh, you know who we admire? The people with the most aggressive surveillance state on the planet. We think it could be modeled after that.
Are you serious? Are you going to play that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, because it gets even worse. So the European Central Bank, the ECB, that's what ECB is.
Mm-hmm.
So the ECB has said that, well, we want this CBDC. And by the way, they put out a list of features. They said, well, here's some features that we think would be important for a CBDC. Now, I just had a great interview with Aaron Day, 2-part, and I'll probably turn it into 3 or 4 parts when I get back in the recording saddle here, talking about stable coins, but also CBDs. And he made a really good point. He said, but we already have BDCs, bank digital currencies. We already have those. How many people get paid in cash by their employer? You don't. Your account gets credited in digital currency representations from your employer's account, which gets debited. Like most of us don't ever see the cash, right?
Well,
so we have bank digital currencies already exist, right? We already have things like HSA accounts, right? HSA accounts, a health saving account, means that you put money in, and then it's sort of got a fence around it. You can't spend it for some things, right? You can't go and spend it at Disneyland. It's only for health related purchases. So it's got that first sort of sense of control.
Right.
MasterCard has come out and said, we're going to start scoring you. We're not doing anything with it. Don't worry yet. We're going to start scoring you for your carbon intensity for your purchases.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't want MasterCard.
Anyway.
Let's not use them.
This gets pretty exciting because thankfully the ECB was kind enough to put out their list of recommendations that they would recommend for their central bank digital currency.
Oh, good.
Here's some features.
Oh, no.
Features.
European Central Bank has proposed the digital euro have the following features. Users be allowed to spend no more than 50 euros per transaction.
What is that? In Europe? What is that? A hamburger? Do they eat hamburgers over there?
I don't know.
It's a croissant and a cookies. 50 euros.
That's not very much per transaction. Oh, that's going to be so annoying. Users have a maximum monthly spending limit of 1,000 euros. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Users have a limit of 50 transactions per month. Users have a limit of digital euro holdings maximum of 3,000 euros.
Oh, I love this one.
Be programmable so the governments or central banks can impose spending restrictions.
As soon as you get the programmability, like, oh, Evie, you've been a bad girl. Click, click, click. Your spending restrictions. Let's see your money. Well, you can only spend half as much. And by the way, it only works within 5 kilometers of your house.
The next one can only be spent at government approved merchants.
Oh, there you go. Oh, did you criticize Israel? You're not approved anymore. You can't take money.
Wow.
They love this. Is control, control, control.
Oh, be programmed to expire within a certain amount of time. So you have to use it.
They actually said that. Yeah.
And that you can't have full anonymity as a viable option ever.
Not have full anonymity as a viable option. No, not yours.
Ever.
Ever.
Because they're never going to go back.
Never.
Whatever gets put out here and
this
set,
list just gets longer.
It does.
Over time. We all know that, right?
Yeah, I don't want to do this.
This is crazy that this is actually what they're proposing.
They put this out on their website. I just can't even believe that.
Yeah.
I can't believe people aren't going crazy. Are they like protesting this? This is awful.
Yeah.
Who would want it? Oh, anybody that is here from the UK and is about to experience this, how do you feel
Europe,
about it?
Not UK.
I mean, sorry.
EU.
Europe. My bad. I didn't get enough sleep.
Really? Why not?
Tell me what your thoughts are about this. I mean, what would you do if this was about to be imposed?
I would probably
to Jan's question.
Armed in Alaska up here and say, time to move.
Time to move.
Time to move. I don't think there's any stopping this particular thrust. They want it. They want it really bad.
Yeah.
Right. It's all about centralization and power and control.
Right.
There's no need to have a CBDC, right? Now it's just centralized, but then you can do cool things, and they're all excited about it because you can program it to expire within a certain period of time and can only be spent at government-approved merchants, and be programmable so they can impose spending restrictions on, the human livestock who are
It's so gross.
not doing the right things that they want. And this will all tie into the misinformation, disinformation, social credit. That's the thing they want to do. Now,
Yeah. And we've already seen it kind of happen, like with the truckers when they shut down all their money.
Yep.
Right.
They froze them up there
The
in
Freedom
Canada.
Convoy. Yep.
Now, the reason that I think this is so important to talk about is because the chance of them exerting this much control and not breaking the system is as close to zero as I can imagine. Because, the kinds of people, when you run into the kinds of people who work in government, apologies to some of you, but a lot of them, they're kind of midwit level, right? And so now they're going to try and control the uncontrollable. So what do I mean? Our economy is a complex system composed of sub-complex systems under that, right? And complex systems, you can't control them. They have emergent features, and they're going to do things you don't anticipate. So they're going to try and dial everything in. Evie, you can only have these many grains of rice. Chris, you get this many pints of gasoline. They're going to try and control all of that at some point. And the problem is it won't work out at all like they think. And as it breaks, the prediction is they're going to exert more and more and more control, not less and less, as they try desperately to make this thing do what they want it to do. But it's not a controllable system. Can you imagine? So waves at the beach are chaotic, right? You can never, like if you said, I want you to predict 3 minutes from now exactly the shape of the next wave, exactly where every fleck of foam is, exactly what it looks like, right?
Right.
Just like sketch it out, and then 3 minutes, we'll see if that wave arrives. You can't do it.
No, you can't. And it's the same repetitive thing happening over and over again. And yeah.
You just can't, because it's sensitive dependence on initial conditions, as they say. They have these emergent features, and it's going to do what it's going to do. Instead, you would say, maybe we should shape this a little bit, and we would like this wave not to like undermine this house and drag it out into the ocean or something. So we can begin to work with the idea that we can't control it, but we can put incentives around it. So what this is they're trying to lock everything down as tightly as possible because they're afraid of independent people having independent thoughts, doing and thinking what they will. Twitter X must be driving them nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely
bonkers.
bonkers.
You know it is.
People having unauthorized conversations and thoughts.
No, and ultimately, Chris, what they're afraid of is the bankers in this story, I believe they're very much aware of the lack of resources that is coming.
Yeah.
That's here already.
Yep.
And they want to have
agree.
control over this so that they can dole the rest remaining resources out as they see fit, and not as in a way that's fair to free people, but
universal basic income, 15-minute cities.
I mean, this is essentially, when you say all this, what I see when I hear CBDCs is it's the door shutting and clicking into a locked position in our digital prison. It's the same as going to jail. You can't see the walls.
Yep.
Right.
But they're going to break it because they're going to try and control the uncontrollable. And it's a belief system I hold very strongly. But, as I've been going back through and starting work with chapters of the crash course and all this, net complexity was in the book, but I'm going to have to bring it out as a special chapter for the video series again, because it's just a really important concept. And once you understand complex systems and that they can't be predicted, just have these emergent behaviors, it gives you a sense of humility, right? I actually think humility is the foundation of wisdom. Like if you really want to become wise about something, the first thing you should do is admit how much you don't know.
Right.
And it's even stronger when you could admit there's some things I can't know. Right. We can't with this firmware and wetware, we can't understand complex systems, but we can observe them and go, oh, they have some features. Anyway, but they're control freaks. This is where they're going. By the way,
wow.
I found this meme today, thought it just captured the whole thing.
When you start to suspect maybe it's not a coincidence that literally everything happening in current events seems to lead to increased government power and surveillance while suppressing individual privacy and autonomy.
It's from the Truman Show, of course.
Yeah.
I love that. It's good movie.
We should rewatch that.
Yeah, we should watch that.
What are countries like India going to do? I mean, I don't see them having the technology in some places, or even the desire to do business like this? Is it just some governments that are going to be really cracking down with this stuff, or do you see it as more of a global phenomenon?
It's pretty global right now. I mean, there might be some small holdouts, maybe Guatemala or El Salvador, under Bukele. We'll see where Argentina ends up under Milei. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And by the way, I have such a U.S. centric or Western centric at this point. It's really bad because for whatever reason, Africa is not in my feed ever. Does it exist? Is it still there? I don't know.
Well, there was all that stuff that was going on.
India
remember,
only
with
shows
South
up
Africa.
Yep, there's that.
And then it just went away.
It's a pretty big continent. There's a lot. Anyway,
well, sure.
What's really going on in China? All that don't really know. So I think this is, again, remember, the WEF told us in 2016 that Western values will be tested to the breaking point. They told us that you will own nothing and be happy. They told us you will be eating less meat. They told us these things in advance.
Right. You'll rent things. You're not going to buy them anymore.
All that. So we rent our houses from Blackstone now. For whatever reason, the cattle herds are the smallest they've been in over 50 years. So meat is now twice as expensive as when it was in 2016. But cereals, grains, corn, stuff like that, mysteriously same price it was back in 2011, all of them. So it's just everything they said they wanted, they're getting, but they said Western values will be tested to the breaking point. So then you watch what's happening and you see all these open borders, and it's always like these were Western nations that got flooded with these illegal migrants.
Right. They didn't just
Europe
unleash them on everybody.
North Africa and the Middle East region,
Right.
US primarily from South America, but also from other places in the world.
Right.
Did you hear about Thailand being overrun with illegal immigrants? China?
Nope.
Korea?
No.
Russia?
No.
Africa?
No.
So Western values will be tested to the breaking point. This is not, we're under attack. I've said that to my subscribers many times. This is an attack, and they're hitting us on all vectors. Our morals, our sense of unity, our sense of even having a nation. Do you have a nation if you don't have a border? No, you do not.
Our sense of self and our sexuality, all of it's been hijacked.
And specifically abusing the hardworking, tax-paying citizens of the country while just abusing them and giving all of their goodies to other people, right? It's just part of it. So you asked about other countries. Yeah, it's a thing now.
Mexico makes biometric identifier mandatory for all citizens. Mandatory. I wonder what that means. Like, you have to use that identifier everywhere, like a thumbprint or something. Don't know. Yikes. Yeah, this makes me want to run away. I don't know where I would run to, but it makes me want to escape instantly. Well, I hate trying to be controlled. Sucks.
Now let's talk about the UK very specifically. So, in the UK, you read stuff like this all the time. I literally could have found you 100 things like this. Here's one: 22-year-old man stabbed to death with a machete in Walsall, UK. 10 stabbings in the last week. Mr. Guns and Gear. Hey, Mike, if you're on here today watching, and he just posted on March 28th another stabbing in the UK. So, cultural enrichment going well. This just happened yesterday. A Saudi student stabbed to death in Cambridge. UK is no longer safe for visitors. This is going on. People's phones getting snatched and stolen, and almost all of this by these migrants who've come in. But the police, Evie, you'll be happy to know, are on the job. And look at this. They caught a guy on a skateboard.
£100 fine for no insurance, and 6 penalty points on the UK driving licence that you don't have. And that would obviously, like, if you applied for a UK driving licence, you would start with 6 points on that driving licence.
6 points on his license because he was driving it's probably got a little electric motor on it, but a skateboard. Yeah, 300 pounds, 6 points for driving a skateboard. There's probably a stabbing happening right behind him over there somewhere. This is the UK police now.
Oh my goodness.
This is what they're up to.
That's awful.
Crazy.
Okay, so that's that part out of the way.
So if I apply for a UK driver license, this is going to affect. I'm going to have points even before getting the.
If you apply for it in the next 3 to 4 years, they will still give you a license.
Yes.
6 in the first 2 years is an automatic back.
For a skateboard officer, I can't believe it. I'm really sorry if I. There's something
If
wrong.
I
Like, I
just go
didn't know
to,
that
if I
when
just
my
go to the
stable
next,
was.
can you just hold that question, basically?
We'll do all
If I just go
this.
to the next bit, and then we can get you on your way and get you to a meeting. Okay, so as we've told you, your vehicle's being seized today because it's on the road, it's being used without insurance. It's going to be seized. Okay?
Without insurance.
We'll go to the car pound. The only way you can get the car pound out of the car pound is if you turn up with a valid policy of motor insurance, which allows the vehicle to be used on the road. Okay? Other than that, you cannot pick up the vehicle. The problem you're going to find is that a motor insurance company can't provide you with insurance to carry out to use something on the road that's illegal. These are illegal to be used on the road, so therefore no insurance company is going to cover you.
So I'm just going to lose my boards.
In
my
effect,
skateboard.
yes, but I can't actually say you're losing your board because you may miraculously be able to find a company that insures you. In effect, yes.
So this is demoralizing, right? So this is just like, and you can hear
Poor guy.
the police guy almost has this glee, right?
Yeah.
He's just, oh yeah, he's just like juiced up on his power.
The gleeful camp guard.
The gleeful camp guard. So that's what they've all been turned into. The UK is toast. They are so lost at this point in time.
That's awful.
I don't think there's any recovery here. I just don't.
Yeah. I'm not sure there is either.
But at any rate, just that's our puppy out there saying, yo,
hello,
yo, you guys done in there yet? Almost, folks. And then here we found out this on May 22nd.
The UK police arrest a man for sharing a social media post that caused somebody anxiety. Quote, why am I in cuffs because of something he shared than I shared? Because someone has been caused anxiety based upon your social media post. That's why you've been arrested. Okay,
UK, listen, I don't know who needs to hear this over there, but if you arrest people because they cause anxiety, you have officially turned into an island of pussies. Okay. I'm very sorry. There's just no other way to parse that. Just have to throw that one right on the table. This is awful, but this is demoralizing. This is designed to undermine and destroy the morale of the citizens of the UK. And so it's just been very, very bad. And I think that Robert Moore got it right. He said, Britain, UK, you're now a police state. You are. It's just a full police state.
Wow.
Got an online safety bill, anything but safe. It's just a Trojan horse for mass surveillance. Every phone call, every text, email now can be stored under the Investigatory Powers Act. Of course, none of the Epstein files or anything that relate to their MPs and their peccadillos.
Of course.
Your browsing history saved for at least a year, even if you've done nothing wrong. Your location constantly tracked by your mobile provider. Face recognition cameras everywhere without your consent. Smart TVs and devices are listening. So back to Jan's question, what do? We don't have a smart TV in our home. We don't have any Alexa. We don't have any of that stuff. We still have these phones, but we should probably just dump them in Faraday cages,
we should.
at the end of the day.
And when we get these new ones, I think we will be much happier that are de-Googled and everything else.
That'll help too. Banks are now asked to flag unusual transactions, even buying gold or crypto. Apps like WhatsApp could be forced to break encryption for your own protection, of course. And the government can demand access to your private messages without telling you. This is all true now.
Oh, this is so scary.
Yep.
I hope people wake up. I hope people don't like the ease that our modern lives have, that this technology provides us more than they like freedom. Because there's going to come a day where, it already happens, right? When you go to use an app and it says, in order to have permission to use this app, you have to allow us access to all your photos and blah, 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 and whatever it is. And that's how
that's a private company, of course, who has a monopoly and has, hand in glove relationships with the government. So where does the boundary really live? That's fascism right there.
It is fascism.
Of corporation and state. Yeah. So,
but it's little by little, it breaks you down.
Yeah. So, I don't know how the coppers are able to sleep at night. I just don't.
If I was that guy on the skateboard, I would not have been so calm.
It's just so infuriating.
Mad.
All right, Evie.
All right.
You ready to bring this home for us?
I am.
Okay.
I just have to read one of my favorite poems ever. It's just so good. It's called Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. And she says, you do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things.
I love that. All right. Well, thank you for being here today, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this Signal Hour. Come back to peakprosperity.com if you want to continue the conversation with all the amazing folks assembled there.
And hopefully we get a chance to see you at our yearly event this year.
Oh, look forward to that so much.
If you're interested in joining us, where can they find more information about that, Chris?
Peakprosperity.com, big banner right at the top, or search for our summit and Summit 2025. So with that, thanks very much, everybody, for being here. We will be back with you next time. And, well, until then,
adios,
amigos.
Take care.